switching positions now, I guess. I'm over here. Introing Mordy's team. I guess there. How do you pronounce it?
This is PERA?
PERA.
Right?
Mordy, captain of PERA. Take us through, I guess, a little bit of your thoughts for the team when you're, I know a lot of your boys.
Yes,
but
yeah, a lot of
take me
synergy.
through.
Okay. Well, first off, I just want to thank PERA for sponsoring. We appreciate it. You're going to be my team name, my jersey, my everything. It's going to be hype. We're going to win games together. Okay, so to start, I guess I'll start with myself on the mound. Because I'm sure a lot of people in this league know me as a shortstop. I can pitch. I've done it at Coyle, as Albert can attest to.
I've seen Mordy could pitch, but I guess I'll jump into my... So in terms of what I think for this team, my biggest, I guess we call it the X factor, is Mordy on the mound. But not only that, it's Mordy on the mound, and what's going to happen here with Isaac Sasson also. Because Isaac Sasson is a true center fielder, but I also know that Aaron Levy's in center. And then you have this sort of next question mark, I guess, in right field, because I've seen Teddy Kurtz play when we play in the summer by Van Court in the mornings. And I guess, I haven't seen Nathan Asulin play, but I've seen Teddy mainly play in the infield.
Yes.
Not the outfield. Yeah. I know right field can get tricky with the ball that tails.
So the way I see this team is that this whole side of the field, interchangeable.
Gotcha.
So I may use Teddy at second, I may use Teddy at short center, I may use Robert in right, I may use AB in right, Nathan at first. All of this is subject to change.
Yeah, I don't even see a second baseman. So that means AB slotting to second for when Robert's first, or they slot it together? How does
AB
that
and
work?
Robert are going to stay at either first base or they're going to play right field.
Okay.
Teddy Kurtz is either going to play right field or second base, maybe a short center. Isaac Sasson will either play second base or short center.
Okay, so these are really true positions. These are more the right sides. Everyone can play. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So Isaac Sasson is telling me that he plays shortstop. So I figure if I have.
Have you seen him play before?
I have not.
Right.
So
I haven't either. I don't know. It's a question of a rookie, right?
Yeah, rookie question mark. But if he's saying he could play shortstop, I'm kind of hoping that he can play short center, second base. It's a lot easier on you.
Right.
And we're kind of going to go from there. And like you were saying, yes, I am an X factor here. Yes, Isaac is an X factor there. I think that really worst case, if this team does get in trouble, Teddy Kurtz can pitch. So worst case, we would go.
Yeah, but I could also see just about Teddy and a little bit into his psychology. I could see him getting a little bit. He's very competitive.
Yeah.
And if he throws a couple walks on the mound, I don't know what happens.
Well, then worst case, we also have Aaron Levy who could pitch.
Right.
So at that point, you would put Sasson in center and myself to short. But I think that this is going to work. I'm not worried. I'm hearing great things about Aaron Leniato and his defense.
Gotcha.
So worst case, again, something really, if Sasson would have to really be making an error every play for them to switch. But I'm hearing Aaron is a great shortstop. So worst case, I can move Sasson to third, maybe make it easier for him. Taubman and Aaron in the outfield are my two biggest spots. I think that's going to be more than fine.
So can I tell you though, my take on the field, it's because you have flashes, like you have brilliance and then question marks. Because I see here, everything on to the left, I'm confident. Everything to the right, I'm not. Which is also what you're saying about the interchangeability.
Yeah.
But because they're interchangeable, also leads to a question mark because there's no true position, right? There's no. Everyone's playing somewhere else.
Yes.
Which leads me to believe like no one's made a name for themselves. Like that's their position. That's what they play.
Robert
right?
Beta
I know
almost won
Robert's
Gold Glove.
right. I understand. I know that, but also Robert Beta moving. Right, he doesn't have that range there. He had injuries. I know he got hurt a couple times.
Yes.
So he doesn't necessarily have that much when it comes to range or speed on offense. So he's not going to be rangy at second base. You're going to have guys coming in.
Right, but this kid, well, I guess he's also a question mark.
Right, they're also a question mark. That's my point, right? Like you know what you're getting with Aaron Levy in center. Even like Isaac's a player, he's a softball player. He's going to be one-on-one. Like listen, at the end of the day, he'll make let's say one error every 2 games, but it's not going to be to your detriment.
Yeah.
Like he's a player. He could throw guys out even if the ball's in front of him. As long as he keeps it in front of him, he has a gun that'll get a guy out at first. Right, it's not going to really be a problem. Aaron Leniato, I'm hearing, has a great glove at third. Taub over the years has really improved his outfield. He can chase the ball down.
Last year, Taub was supposed to be playing left field.
Yeah.
We ended up moving him to right field.
Played right field, played great.
Won
Listen,
Gold Glove.
he could make one mistake every now and again, but listen, for what you're getting in the outfield, it's great.
Yeah.
Aaron Levy in center also fantastic. So when I'm working there, it even leads me to believe maybe I want to take, I would consider moving you to short, moving Isaac into center, which is his natural position, Like, I would figure out pitcher. I'd rather have like almost like a Jackie Schwecky-esque type, just throw it over with your defense like that. Because if you move Isaac into center, Taub into right, Aaron Levy into left, you have the best outfield by far in the entire league. By far.
No, I agree with you.
You at shortstop also, you're Aaron and you at shortstop, anything hit to that side is an out. So and also when you have a guy throwing the ball over, your outfield is your number one thing.
I agree
so
with
that's really what I was thinking also you do when it comes to the season.
Sure.
Maybe you want to see how it goes there.
I think that's kind of where we're at. I think
Right.
if this is really not working and we're losing games more than we're winning games, we'll make a switch. But
Right.
until we're shown that we have to make a switch,
Right.
this is kind of how we're gonna play it.
Right. And also listen, we're at this point in time, we're not a league that guys can consistently go the other way and try to punish you every single time.
But even if
Right.
Teddy's got a good glove and
Teddy's got a solid glove, but listen, you also want people like, if they're trying to go the other way on you, that's the only way they could win. I think it's also a good problem for you because it's not
Right.
easy to do. Especially also, you do have some speed on the mound. You do have some shifty pitches that come inside on you that makes it hard to go that way. So the field wasn't even though my biggest question mark. My biggest question mark was your lineup.
okay.
And that's really like my biggest question mark. Let me take you through it. Alex Taub is fast. I don't think he's a 4-12 hitter. Sorry, Alex. I think listen, you had your career year last year.
He did have a career.
You played awesome. This year, though, the defenses around the league are better.
Mm-hmm.
You definitely have that speed, but what we're seeing around even if you look at my infield or a couple other infields in the league, there are guys that now could throw. There are guys that can play third base. There are guys that have some, they can get something on their throws. You're not going to get a lot of the gimme singles. Morty, listen, you know what you're getting with you at 2. Isaac's great at 3. Aaron's great at 4. But then after that, for me, it's all question mark, right? So David Mass at 4. Listen, David Mass is like the biggest go big or go home, right?
Okay.
I've seen him strike out 2 times in a game, and I've seen him hit 3 times over someone's head. But like, look at last year with a week. I know he also got injured. He hurt his shoulder a few times.
This is 2 years ago.
I know. It's 2 years ago stats. I know he hurt his shoulder. Listen, he's a solid player. He's a solid fundamental type of player. But also for him to be in the 5 slot is asking a lot of him.
Right.
It's asking a lot of him. And then after that, Aaron Leniado, I guess he's a rookie, is a question mark. To have him in your 6th. And then from there down, also Robert, you're not really getting much speed with him. You hope he can work something at a good count. Nathan Asulanaiki Sutton, we don't know. Right? Elliot Beta, we don't know. Teddy Kurtz can hit at 10. Like, I've seen Teddy Kurtz hit.
So I like Teddy here a lot because it kind of flips the order.
Right.
I'd say that everything between 5 and 9 is subject to change.
Yeah.
So whoever's hitting, that's who's going to hit. This is not like a real lineup. This is just what I kind of threw together here at the last second. I think the top 4 is going to look a lot like this. I think Taub hitting 412 last year is one of those things where he kind of earned it. So until he shows me that he can't do that again, he's going to be my 1 hitter. I just think that if he gets on base, he then has me, Sasson, and Aaron Levy behind him. We're going to score a run 100% of the time.
Right. Listen, and I can see also Taub with his speed.
Yeah.
If he gets on and you can do it, he's more often than not, he's going to score. I think in this lineup, it's more or less how are you going to play Isaac, how are you going to play Aaron is my question, right? It's when you get to the 5 to 9, even if it's interchangeable, where you're going to move these guys. And also, I'm playing you guys week 1, so I'll see it, right? I don't want to give fuel to the fire, but for me, it's like I want these guys to step up. I know that some of them can step up. It's more or less you're asking a lot of guys to step up, right?
Sure.
So even if 1 or 2 of them can, and I think that 1 or 2 will, it's more, all right, now you're 1 through 6, but after that, is there a drop-off? How are you going to overcome that?
And I think like we said before, most of the teams in the league, this area is definitely, obviously not going to be anywhere near the top.
Right.
Our team's no different, so we're definitely feeling those effects also. I just think that the guys on my team were all boys, a lot of synergy like Isaac Sasson.
For sure.
And I think that any one of them could go off and have a good week. Teddy Kurtz subbed 1 week last year.
Listen, I saw him go down
hit a homer
right down the line at third base, and he can hit. He really can. Yeah. I've seen him from playing 2-3 years ago till now. He definitely could put a nice bat on it. The real thing for me though is, and not even that. When I'm looking at your lineup, like Isaac Sasson could be an MVP of this league, right?
Could be.
He could, and especially if he hits to his potential.
If he hits 564, he's on pace.
Now, even if he hits less than that, but I feel like in the last year also he has a power element now that he's really added to his bat. Yes. He has a really great amount of pop.
Line to line.
Dangerous line to line. Aaron Levy then could get him home, and he gives him that protection that he needs, and you're going to get on base at that 400 or 500 clip, even 444, but I'm sure your on base percentage is higher than walks, right? You'll take those walks, and now you're setting the table with you and Tab. I definitely hear it at the top of the lineup. But for me, there's a question mark from 5 and below.
Yeah.
So
Honestly, that's definitely the draw
Right.
of the team. I think that the defense and the pitching will be more than fine, especially if we switch things around if we absolutely have to. The top of the lineup is fantastic. It's going to come down to these guys. I'm not so worried about Teddy and Robert and AB. I've seen these guys play; they can hit. It's guys who I've never seen before. Ike Sutton, I don't really know what I'm going to get. Nathan, I don't know what I'm going to get. Aaron, I don't know what I'm going to get. So if they prove me that they should be higher, then they will bat higher.
I wouldn't even slot AB and Teddy.
No, this is wrong.
I'm saying my approach would not be to slot them.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
probably something with Elliott.
No. AB's going to get his own spot. Teddy
Yeah.
will have his own spot. We'll move things around. I was just putting this together last second.
Right. But so for me though, given the question mark from, like I was saying, the right side and 5 to 9, I struggle to give you a bad grade only because you've made a career out of taking squads like this that play together and they're friends and just play sound fundamental softball, and you take them far. So I'm honestly, I have to give it. I think I'll give it like a B minus.
Okay.
But
I think that
a B minus, but potential that like playoff time, you guys are gonna be locked down, and like you guys get into the playoffs, you're dangerous.
Once the playoffs come, Teddy's coming here. I'm going here. Sasson's going to the outfield, and the defense has now gone from maybe the third or fourth best defense in the league to the best defense.
And I hear you, and that's why I'm saying Morty in playoff time is dangerous. It's more or less, though, it's like, how are you going to... I think you're going to get there. It's more or less, how are you going to get your pieces to fit together and figure it out to get to the right way?
We'll figure it out. We're
Right.
all boys.
Yeah, and definitely that you're all boys, and I think the questions will definitely get answered in the season, but just I know how you draft. I wouldn't draft the same way, and that's why I give it that B minus. But Isaac, go ahead.
I'm expecting
All right.
I'm expecting to get ripped.
No, I'm not ripped, but so I'm gonna give this team 2 different grades because it's 2 different teams.
It is 2 different teams.
So first of all, the 5 through 9, I definitely see that as an issue.
For sure.
The top 4, great, amazing, but the 5 through 10, and actually I played versus Teddy that one time. He hit that home run, so he can definitely hit. 5 through 9, I definitely give that a little bit of an issue. I would probably move Teddy up from one time
So I
saw
like him at 10 because he then...
I think
You
that's
know, like
overrated.
he's
I feel
there.
like you just wanted to get at bats rather than the table setting. That's my only opinion with that.
I love having the 10 hitter like
I
be
know.
a
I
hitter.
feel like I don't know. I feel like that's overrated.
Okay.
So I would first. That's an issue, and the field's a big issue like this. With you pitching, you have Sasson out of position. You have you out of position. You have Aaron Levy out of position. I played with him a few times. He was always left field. With all that, the main 3 positions all out of position. So with the field like this, and with the lineup like that, it's a C minus for me.
Okay.
When we do the switch, it's gonna happen week 2, week 3. Then I would say your field is great. Your field becomes great. The only issue is it's easier said than done just throwing in somebody to be pitcher. I feel like in this league with the pressure and just to get strikes, you can have a lot of walks. And I've seen it a few times when you just throw someone in that's not a pitcher, it doesn't usually work out.
So
Jackie,
he is a pitcher.
Okay, so if he's a real pitcher, that's a different story. But like what Jackie Shrecky does, just throwing strikes, is hard. But so if you switch the field and you put him as pitcher and he can handle it, I would give this team a B plus.
Okay.
If he can't handle it, it goes back to
The
a
worst
C
case,
minus.
like I said, Aaron Levy also pitches.
He pitched in high school. It's
That's
goes
why.
back
By the way,
7
that's why I
years
gave it
ago.
the B minus. I gave it the average between what I
Between
think
both?
right between both.
No, this team's gonna change. This is not
Right.
gonna stay like this. It's gonna stay like this if you get lucky and win a few games and
If
have
you
fun. This is the fun. When you start getting serious, it's gonna change because did Isaac ever play shortstop before?
Yeah, it's
He
pickup
has?
games, but
Okay.
not like...
I think it's gonna. So I'm gonna give a grade based on the switch, which I think is gonna happen. I think it'd be minus just because, I said B minus. B minus because the lineup's a little weak at the end and just the pitcher's a little bit unknown. But other than that, I love your defense. I heard great things about Liniato as well. I was gonna take him right after you took him.
Gotcha.
You at shortstop, there's nobody better, and Sasson in center, and Aaron in right and left. I think it's great. And you do have somebody. Elliott's a great vibe guy.
I love it.
Great
So
vibe
hyped.
guy. I got to know him last year. You got a lot of fun with him. Doesn't complain. Just wants to sit there for the team.
And he wants the DH.
He wants the DH, which is great. Everyone wants Elliott on their team. We all need an Elliott on our team. So I guess you want to give 2 grades? You can do C minus and B minus.
I gotta reopen the iPad.
C minus and B minus will be my 2 grades.
B minus, C minus. You got it.
Yeah.
Okay, Chaz, you're up.
All right, I'm gonna just base it on the entire season because I think this is all bullshit. Okay, my estimate, this is all just.
You'd be surprised.
You're not fooling anybody.
You'd
Okay,
be surprised.
so in any case, you put this the way it's supposed to go because it's just a mixed up jigsaw puzzle. Okay, we know what's gonna happen, and I think you know what you're doing. So let's just cut to the quick. I think you know what you have. I think more than any of us are gonna tell you. I think you know what it is, and I think you're gonna make whatever you have here work. You have a tremendous amount of speed. I mean, like really a tremendous amount of speed. I don't see threats of long ball. I do see,
We're not that team.
right? You're not that team. You know, you're basically gonna go. You're gonna stretch singles into triples and doubles and whatever. You're gonna hit your gaps and whatever, and you're gonna go. You're gonna play small ball for the most part. There's no threat of the power, but you don't really need that. I think you have consistency in your lineup. Again, I think I'll go straight to. I think a B plus is whether it stays like this or it doesn't. But I don't believe for a second that it's staying like this.
If it works, we're gonna run. If this works, we are going to run this team.
If it works.
Well, right. Why would you change it?
Yeah,
if
if
it
this
isn't
works,
working?
Yeah.
if this works, you're winning. If this works enough that you keep it, you're winning the championship, right?
You don't have a pitcher. You don't have
right.
When I say
So if this
works,
works, you're winning.
I mean like even like a 5 and 4 would be a success to me.
Again,
Yeah,
you have,
but
but
you're
you have
switching
the
your player
talent. That's what I'm not worried
If you end
about.
up 6 and 6, you're switching your player count or are you keeping it?
It'll be a discussion.
Yeah, but also, can I?
You have the talent. It's there. It's just you're just playing games right now.
But
That's really all you're
can I
doing.
add-
We're a team of
You're
vibes,
experimenting.
fun,
But
Can I
you
add
know
one
that if
point
you need to
also?
put everything back where it belongs,
then we'll be fine.
right.
Yeah, but I gotta add one point to this,
Yeah.
right? And everyone knows that when it comes to week 1, let's say with all our teams, we're expecting errors, we're expecting a lot of walks from pitchers, we're expecting mistakes,
Mhm.
right? But when we get to the crunch time of the season, week 5, week 6, right, we got guys to be locked in. Question for me though is if you're playing games the entire season, now we're coming to playoffs, and now guys are in different spots, in different situations.
He has other
Now
vets. I'm not so scared
Yeah.
of
they're
that.
veterans.
I'm
Yeah,
not
but
scared
honestly,
of that, but he's gonna
no,
pull
no,
that
no,
plug
but guys,
quicker than you
guys,
think.
that's what I'm saying. But also I'm saying where guys are vets, but then again, that's where it comes to the line. Because everyone to the left is a vet, everyone to the right is not. So
Right,
it's
but
half the team is really a question
If
mark.
it was really off the rails, he's got hundreds of games of experience.
Right.
I could
No,
just throw
no,
him
of
back
course.
there and
But I'm
play
saying,
with
but then
high
where's your
Yeah.
question?
The
At the
pitcher.
most important position on the field, it's your
So
pitcher.
I'm not as worried about it just because I know that I have two
Right.
guys.
He has the defense. There's no
Right.
question.
Right.
2
He
pitchers
just
is no
needs. He
pitchers.
needs a guy like
I have
Jackie.
3 pitchers.
3 pitchers is no
I
pitchers.
actually have 4 pitchers because Sassy could do it too.
He just needs a guy that's gonna throw the ball over the plate.
But it's not that easy.
It's not.
It's not that
Not
easy.
that
No,
easy.
it's not.
It's not that easy.
100%
It's
not.
not.
He could walk 3
It's
guys in a
100%
game and
not.
it would be
It's-
alright.
You need the stamina. You need, 100%.
But it's also not only about stamina, it's a lot psychological.
True.
It's a very headsy
Teddy
position.
pitched with us at Saturdays.
Yeah, but it's a very big difference when I pitched on Saturdays and
I
I'm
hear
straight.
you.
I'm throwing out. I'm
Is
also
it-
pitching well.
is
You
it
know,
the
but I'm not
league-
pitching.
league
well.
situations
I'm
are
not
different than
pitching.
a
I was
Saturday.
pitching
and
Saturdays and I'm
Yeah.
throwing 1 run, but I'm not trying to be a
I'm sticking
pitcher
up
in
for my
relief.
guys.
Look,
Yeah.
I think also just to be noted, I'm quite certain that you pulled the trigger on David Bassington early.
For sure.
Yeah,
Okay.
I agree with you.
Okay.
That was an early
No, again, but I understand the logic. You don't have a Vic Busso in the league. You don't have it. It was, you have maybe 2 or 3 legitimate catchers, and I think you wanted to lock him up.
This
But he would
move,
have been there the next
this
round.
move
if
is
not
all
after.
about keeping the team happy.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have a catcher,
Yes.
oh my God,
Yeah.
Everything goes off the rails.
I
I
agree,
hear you.
and
I look at
that's
Joey
why I
from
said I think he
Navy.
knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing.
Sorry, Joe.
And again, like I said, it kind of changed his draft
You're not
the rest of the way
Mhm.
because I think you could have gotten better talent.
Probably.
But I think you wanted to solidify that
Yeah.
catcher role because once he's gone, there was pretty much nobody, and you were going to have to figure it out.
Mhm.
And that's probably the toughest position to make anyone happy at.
Yeah.
If you have a guy willing to do
He
it,
likes it. Yeah,
grab
it's
it.
one of
But
those
also,
things.
he's a glue for these guys. He's
Yeah.
the best friend. Every
Yeah.
single guy's a best
Yeah.
friend with the other guy. So I'm saying, like, having Mass there on top of that
No,
is just great for the morale. Like, he's
The vibes on this team are going to
fantastic.
be
Yeah, look, if they're having fun, and like I said, I'll say it. The one thing about the team last year that I had is that everybody was just out there having a good time.
Mhm.
There was no putting pressure, yelling at each other, throwing their gloves on the ground. You know, it was just if you have that and you have that attitude, and you don't have someone bringing that team down.
And it's gonna
You'll be in
be
good shape.
harder this year because this year was 11, this year it's 12.
Yeah.
So it's
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 not
that,
gonna be
and
easy.
you have a lot of new faces,
Mhm.
and
It's
they're
not
all
gonna
going to
be
want their playing time, and they're all going to want to play, you know, the position they want. But you know,
Mhm.
if you're about the team, you're about winning, and that's it.
Not easy.
And I think he'll get that. He'll get that done.
Oh yeah, I don't see one argument on Morty's team for the season. Over under is 1. So
Should be smooth
yeah,
sailing.
over under is 1.
All right, awesome. Thank you guys.